I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back, tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone in progression, it's all that I wanted. The phone in affection, I summon and dub it. Cause I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back, tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something, that's why I ain't.
What's going on, fam? I'm excited. I love this show because I have one of my favorite guests, favorite people, period on this show. Anyway, you're listening to the Urban Sports Scene. I'm Wole, and you know what? It's Commanders Friday. So yeah, you know what? Every Friday we do a Commanders little segment episode. So now it's training camp. A lot of Commanders talk now. We went from making up stuff to kind of talk about. Now we have some relevant stuff to actually talk about. You know what I mean? But before we get into all that, let me knock out some logistics. Subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and other podcast platforms. Just search the Urban Sports Scene. Make sure you subscribe to the Urban Sports Scene YouTube channel. If you're in the YouTube chat, we accept super chats. Super chats help us support the show. So the super chats will be prioritized, over all comments. So if you have a super chat, we'll prioritize that comment. Don't forget to tweet us at Urban Sports Scene. Hit us up on IG and TikTok at Urban Sports Scene, and also like our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page. Also join our Urban Sports Scene Facebook group. Just search Urban Sports Scene, sports bloggers, sports podcasters, and sports debates. Also check out our website, which is theurbansportscene.com. All right, my man Will T would usually say this back in the day, so I'm gonna say it for him. It's time for the pregame. Let's get into our tradition, the pregame. Here's what we have on tap. All right, Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus Commanders reporter Donna Hopkins will jump on to talk about what she saw during the first 3 days of Commanders training camp. Let's not waste any time, all right? She's awesome. She's like that. Donna, what's going on?
What's up, Wally? I like how you said that. Now it's the real deal. We can't make up stuff.
Can't make up something to talk about. We can't make up headlines.
I got you by myself today, so this is gonna be really fun.
It's gonna be very fun, Donna. Very fun. So, first off, Donna, you've been there. Today was day 3 of training camp. The first 3 days is day 3. And it was hot, obviously hot as you know what. But what did you see out of today's camp?
Yeah, let me just tell you, Wally, it was scorching hot out there, but the defense was hot also on Friday because they came away with 3 picks in the secondary. Wow. I mean, Jayden Daniels threw 2 of them. Mikey Sainristil, we had the first one, then Tyler Owens, the second one. Wow, and Mikey, skipped it to the house. And then Tyler Owens, he gets a pick. And then the rookie, Trey Amos, gets the last one. So it was a defensive kind of day out there. Bobby Wagner was on the action. But what I did like seeing that when Jayden Daniels threw those picks, him and Mikey Sanders still has this great relationship. He immediately went over there to probably find out, hey, what did you see? And even talking to Bobby Wagner, we saw him over there talking to him. What did you see as far as, when you read the play or what you saw to get the picks? Because it was clean picks there. So I think it was just like I said, the defense secondary really played big today. And the defense overall, you know me, Wally.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the defensive line.
Yep.
I'm looking at the play. And let me just say this about the defensive line. This week, I paid a lot of attention on the defensive side of the ball. Linebacker play, in the back end, the cornerback play, and then in the trenches up front. Let me just talk about up front. They are big, they've got size, and they're physical. So we were all talking about, man, look at them. Deron Payne looked like a little boy size-wise compared to that line right now.
That's interesting. So going back to the secondary, was it all right? Because you've been covering this team for such a long time, and typically the defense starts pretty fast in camp. What's different from this secondary unit to any unit you've seen in the past? Because you've seen some really good secondary units here in DC, going back from number 28, all-time great Hall of Famer, till like Champ Bailey. You've seen some good ones here.
Martin Mayhew, throw him in there.
Martin Mayhew, of course. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, when you look at those guys back then and what they were able to do, and anytime that you're able to have multiple talent back in the secondary on the back end, you're going to be able to be in games. You're going to be able to get after the ball. And that's what the Commanders have been lacking over some. I didn't even mention, let me just talk about who's there.
Go. Yeah, sure.
Marshawn Lattimore, Trey Amos. And let me just talk about Trey Amos a little bit. This is a guy that is a rookie, but gosh, he is not playing like a rookie. And he reminds you a little bit of Michael Sanders Steele, who in his rookie year didn't look like a rookie, and he came on big the whole season. Trey Amos, Coach Quinn is talking about already calling plays out there, and he is a sponge in the playbook. He's you can tell that he's picking up that playbook, because anytime you can be out there calling plays and all of that, then you're ahead of the game. So I'm expecting this guy to stay healthy to be a big help. And not only that, Wally, thank the Lord that this guy does not give the receivers a bunch of cushion.
Ooh, I love it.
Let me tell you, Trey Amos is up on the ball, up in the receiver's grill, being physical. So if a receiver, you know how you're playing basketball and you be like, get off of me, almost like toilet paper on your shoe. Trey Amos, he plays big, he plays physical, and that's something we haven't seen in a long time. So I mentioned Trey Amos, I mentioned Marshawn Lattimore.
How good was Lattimore? You briefly mentioned Lattimore. How good was Lattimore, though? Like, how good was he today?
I mean, I think that we haven't seen a lot, but I think that him being out there, he looks a little smaller to me. But I think just the fact that he's healthy again, those inter squad scrimmages with Baltimore Ravens and the Patriots is going to be good. And I didn't even mention Jonathan Jones. I had a chance to talk to him today. And the thing that makes him so let me go back and hit you with all the names.
All of it. I want all the tea, Donna. All
Lattimore, Trey Amos, Mikey Sanders Steele, Jonathan Jones. And the thing about this cornerback house or class is that, or room, is that Mikey Sanders Steele can play inside, outside. And I didn't even mention Noah, because I didn't mention his last name because I can't say it. But let's throw Noah into the mix also. I'm just going to say Noah in. You know what I'm talking about.
I know, he's Nigerian. It's all good.
But the thing that makes them so talented this year that they haven't had in a long time is, and this team in general, people can play multiple positions. You think Jonathan Jones, talking to him today, he plays nickel and he play, inside, outside. So Mikey Sanders still plays the same thing, slot and also nickel. So you got two players that you can interchange. So one time in the play, you might have Mikey on the outside and Jonathan in the inside, and then vice versa. And Jonathan said that he just picked up one because, he played one position for the longest, and now he plays both nickel and outside. Right? Inside, outside. And then, Marshawn is going to be on that side. That's just the bottom line. So, and then you got Trey Amos and then Noah. So you've got like 5 guys that you can interchange. And then this is the first time, I think, in a long time that the Commanders, you think about teams that put 3 wide receiver sets and everything. And if you don't have the personnel in the back to be able to guard those guys, then you're going to be in trouble no matter what happens up front. So this is the great thing about the defensive front also. If you put the pressure up front and give those guys time, you got the talent now to go up against big receivers. And Trey Amos is going to be your guy that can be physical with those big receivers. And I think that that's what's going to make them nice. It's the first time that we have interchangeable pieces, and we have 5 solid cornerbacks.
I do like that. I said that when they drafted Trey Amos. I just felt like even with Marshawn a year healthier, Mikey with another year, this even before they got Jones, I thought like this secondary could be so much better, especially in cornerback play than we've seen in the past. So you've been talking about what you saw with the cornerbacks. How did the safeties look?
Oh, I was going there next because that's another area they've got talent too. The safety, Juan Martin, is really looking good.
I knew
to me, he looked good last year, and he had shoulder injuries that we didn't know about until after the season was over. But the cornerback position, Will Harris, you got Like I say, Percy Butler has played well.
Okay.
You've got Tyler Owens has played well. And so when you look at that room, again, you got talent there. I mean, I think that Will Harris and Quan Martin is going to be your starters. But let me tell you, Tyler Owens has had a good OTAs.
I'm interested. I'm interested in him. I want to know, like, how is he looking? How is he? Because I personally, I mean, I'm not here to like create any. I would like him to be the guy starting alongside of Quan personally. I mean, down the road. But I'm interested in your take on like how does he look? How does he look in camp, regardless of what my preference is? How does he?
He had the pick today. He cleanly got that. Okay. He cleanly got that. But I think that again, first time in a long time that you can look across the safeties and say, "Wow, we got 4 guys." And I haven't even mentioned some of the other ones, but really, Quan Martin has played well. I mean, it goes a long way when you're healthy and everything. Imagine that he had the shoulder injuries last year that we knew nothing about, and him being 100% now going into it. Imagine how much better he's going to be. And the coaches had already raved on him last year just about how his play. So Quan Martin has looked good. Will Harris has looked good also, and I think that he adds another dimension. And you know, when you think about the coaches and what they did with bringing in certain players, it was not by chance that they did that. And these are guys that still can play. They may not be what they were, I mean, you know, when they came into the league, but as a lot of the veteran players said this week, they're smarter. And so therefore being smarter about how they take care of their body, how Coach Quinn is resting them up. You know, Von Miller didn't even play yesterday, and I didn't even got to the linebackers, but I'm gonna hold off on that in the pass.
I got a question for him, but go ahead, continue.
Yeah, but I think the safety position is pretty solid, and like I said, Tyler Owens, he's just getting better. That he's another one that the coaches have been talking a lot about of just his play. And I think that you're going to see him in packages a lot more this year than you did last year. And all of these guys add a different dimension. And Percy Butler, like I said, he can't even get on the field a whole bunch because of the fact of the talent. But it's nice to have that problem where you can interchange those guys at all times. And Percy Butler, he's just got an extension. So that tells you a little bit about what they think about Percy Butler. And I'm going to try to catch up with him next week, you know, to talk a little bit more about just him in, you know, this year. And the Coach Quinn was talking about the second-year players. And that's who I've been watching a lot.
I saw you talking to Ben Sinnott. I saw that. So
yeah, I'm looking at the second-year players a lot. The Brandon Coleman, you know, as far as Luke McCaffrey, I'm going to catch up with him. But I wanted to kind of really pay attention a lot to the defense because I don't want to be all over the place in practices and whatever. I want to come and look at certain areas because coming into this season, the areas that I'm looking at is the offensive line, the defensive line, and Eddie Goldman. I had talked to him this week also because they brought him in, hometown guy, because he was a run stopper. And we know, Wally, last year, that was not an area that the Commanders did well in is stopping the run. And hopefully some of those guys, Wise, Holmes, Goodwin, Kenneth Law, and all of those guys, I'm telling you, the physicality of those guys, the big guys right there. And then, you know, let me just throw in the linebackers right now because I got a chance to talk to Jordan McGee. And this is another guy that the coaches are talking about.
Talk about him. Talk about him. Jordan McGee.
I think Jordan McGee was going to be a big-time player last year, that he was going to be able to excel as a rookie last year. But training camp, he came out the gates, busting out of the gates. And the coaches was like, woo, this guy, because he had a solid first part of training camp. And then injury came, the knee came, and he didn't get back in until close to the second half of the season, and he played mostly special teams. He got in a little bit in probably the last stretch of three games or so forth. So we just got to get a glimpse of what he could do. But again, OTAs, solid. This is a guy that I think is just absorbing the playbook, and then you got Bobby Wagner and Frankie Louvu and those guys to pull from, and then the other guys I haven't even mentioned on the Hamilton Demetri Hamilton has played well too. So, it's a good problem to have that the Commanders are looking at on defense. It's the first time in a long time that I've seen them have depth. But it all comes down to, we see what's on paper, but I'm seeing what I'm seeing out there too. And I've been pretty impressed with some of the younger guys in their second year. And then the veterans that they have bought in, they've made this team a lot better. I don't know what the record may be and whatever, but let me just say that this team is better on the defensive side of the ball. And up front, I just talked a little bit about up front, but they look that they're big and physical and got great size, and they play fast.
I hope the size works out for stopping the run. Like, to your point, I really do hope that.
And Mike, me, Wally. It's all about let me see.
Yeah, let me see. That's all I'm saying. I just want to see. Look, training can't be something, but I just want to see it how it against other people. That's how my.
Yeah, well, we're gonna find out real soon when they go up against Baltimore, and then they get a chance to get a taste of New England. So you're gonna be able to tell a lot about those guys. But what I'm seeing, at this stage of the game in training camp, you should be seeing what you're seeing, because I asked Coach Quinn about what does he want to see right off the bat. And he talked about, how these players, because they got a lot of new players in here, of how they gel with those guys. And you can see it happening as far as across the board on defense. So, that's what I'm seeing from the defensive side of the ball. And I'm pretty pleased so far. But guess what, Wally? We're just in the first week. We got a long way to go. And you know me, I only tell the truth.
Donna, that's what. Yeah, go ahead, Donna. Go ahead, finish that, Donna.
If I see something that ain't going right next week, I'll be back to say with my little notepad saying, okay, they got to get better here. And like I said, the defense had 3 picks today. That's what you want. And that means that up front, they were also putting pressure. So they disguised things that Jayden may have not seen. And that's what I like again about him is he went over quickly to say, hey, what did you all see on that pass? Because he's like a sponge too. And that's the reason why he's going to excel this year, is because of the year end. He did some great things towards the end of the year that showed his growth even more because of what he saw during the early part of the season. And when he played those teams again, you could see the adjustments and everything. So a bigger, stronger Jayden Daniels. And I haven't even talked about the running game and the offensive line that should help him a lot.
Oh, I know, but like I want to get some. I want to read some questions from our viewers. Mike said, Mike asking you, Donna, how does Eddie Goldman look like? How's he looking like?
I think that Eddie is gelling with the team right now. And it's too early to tell because this was the first time that we really saw them get after. I expect to see a little bit more come Saturday when they did 7-on-7 and goal line plays today. So I think up front, like I said, they played well. I think Eddie is going to be that guy. He's not going to be in there all the time, a starter in there, but this is a guy that they're going to be able to plug in at different times when that Saquon Barkley that wanted to run around everybody and run through everybody last year. The Commanders brought in these people to plug up that middle a little bit more. And I think that that's where he's going to play into it. I think that he'll be good for this team. Yeah. And right now, I just think that it's too early to say how it all is going to be because I haven't seen enough. This is just 3 days of camp. So I don't want to say something that's not the case right now. I'm just saying that, the defensive line across the board to me is so much better.
See, Don, I love the way you answer questions because it's like you give yourself like you're basically saying like I like what I see, but it's still early, and we gotta. So it's still not a good marker in terms of what we're going to see.
No, because I can't tell. I can only tell the some basic stuff right now. I can't tell as far as when they go up against an opposing offense, what are they going to look like? I mean, Lamar Jackson will be a telltale, and then they got the great running game up there with Derrick Henry. So that's when you really measure, when you play that inter squad, practice with the Ravens. That's when I'll be able to answer your question more about those new guys that have come on, the Eddie Goldmans and all of them, but it's too early. All I'm saying right now is that I can tell that they're bigger, they've got more size, and they play fast. And I can tell that they play fast. But so that's all I can give you right now. But stay tuned, and I'll give you my assessment as I go through camp. In the second week, it should get riled up a little bit more. I heard that the Ravens are always in pads, so that should be a good measuring stick to really see where this team is in areas that we know that they needed to improve from last year to this year.
So true, so true. Mike, Paul has a question for you. Donna, from what you're seeing so far, the defense will have the personnel to play the run and pass effectively this year. Will they be able to play both run and pass?
Yeah, I think so, because now you got players that can match up well with the tight ends. And that's something that, with any team, that's been a nightmare for most teams, that they don't have the personnel, the size. Either they're good in one sense. You look at Jeremy Chin, a great player. He came in and played well. Sometimes he was good with tight ends. Because he was physical and whatever. But then they may lack in another area. So I think that this is the first time in a while too that you've got people that's going to be able to play the run and also the pass and everything, and also guard those tight ends, because that gets to be tough when you have a great tight end. Philadelphia's got it. Dallas has it. Giants, all of these teams and other teams that they play schedule-wise, they play Kansas City this year, and we know what they've got in their tight end house. So again, you've got to have players that's able to plug stop the tight end and be physical with them. And I think that this is the first time that you really have that with the safeties, the linebackers, and then the back end with the cornerback. So I think that you can, but again, it looks like on paper and the little bit I've seen so far that they do have those elements, but it all comes down to show me when it counts most. Yeah,
I'm all about showing me. You got to show me. I do like to your point. I'm liking what you're saying though. I think and the secondary, it's like the secondary is coming to fruition is what I kind of envision. Like that's what I envision. The defensive line, I'm not as confident in, but I'm definitely confident in the secondary.
Well, I'm not saying that I'm confident.
Oh, I know you're not. I know you like what you see.
I really got to see them a little bit. I have to see how they get to the quarterback because, when they were double team at half the time, they couldn't get to the quarterback. And then they still couldn't get to the quarterback. No matter double team, single team, a coverage, they still couldn't get to the quarterback. So I want to see with the new additions, how much of a pass rush do you have this year? And I think that to be fair, I think that Coach Witt has a little bit more this year than he did last year. And we have to see all that, how that put together. I think he'll be able to do a little bit more. And then like I said, you got a Von Miller, and everybody's saying, oh man, you look at his age. Let me tell you all.
All right, go ahead. Miller. Let them know.
Let me tell you, Von Miller, I went over there and watched him, and the way he was coming off that ball on those drills and whatever, I felt sorry for that little dummy that they were going around. I said, if that's any indication of the player, then you're in trouble. And they're going to be smart. As you get older, you get smarter too.
Yes.
Play-wise, you may have slowed a little bit in some areas, but your skill, you can't teach football. You know it. He's seen so much, which makes him so much better than anybody else. The same with Bobby Wagner, the knowledge and the skill set that they have because they have played a long time. But let me just tell you, Von Miller looked so good. And the way he was getting off that ball, even in the 7-on-7. I mean, you know, he didn't play, I get like yesterday because they rested him up. But the little drills that I saw, it is music to my ear. So I think that the addition of him is going to make them better. Are they still without a pass rusher that they need? Absolutely still.
Okay.
And guess what? They still may get that. This roster is going to change before the season starts because you've got teams that's going to be cutting some big time names that the Commanders may want to plug in here. But for what I'm seeing right now, they did an upgrade from last year to this year. Question mark is still out for me for the defensive line.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Until I see them in real action.
I'm with you, and Donna. We think the same. So I know how you think about that. I know how you think about it. You got to show me before we jump on that bandwagon. But I do want to like the Von Miller. So I was excited. I think Von Miller is a great fit for this team. To your point, like I wasn't worried about the age, and no knock on Dante Fowler, who had a great year last year, or a really good year for Washington.
No, because he really did have it. If they could have kept him too, that would have been nice to have both of them.
But to be honest with you, it's like Dante, even at his age now, Von Miller is still a guy to me that I'd rather have. Personally, that's just me personally. Just because at the end of the day, you got a guy that, to your point, he's older, but his mental game and how he gets ready and how he can kind of look at a tackle and see leverage. Oh, I can do this against this tackle. He's smarter now. Like rather than having sheer ability, God-given ability, he still has some ability. So we're not going to like shortchange him, but he has the mental with it now with experience and what he's seen in this league and seeing how tackles play him. So I think that's something that he can teach the other young guys who are at defensive ends, right? He can teach.
It's funny that you said that because in his presser, he said that he loves working with the younger guys.
Yeah.
And they're already have been a sponge to him already. I think Jordan McGee had talked to me when I interviewed him about Von Miller and pulling from him and pulling from Bobby and how it has helped his game in what they see. Because this is the thing, as a young player, you haven't even seen hardly anything yet.
Yeah,
they've seen it all. And they know how to relay it back to their teammates, to the younger guys. So I think, again, that's where it comes in that both of them love helping the younger guys with their growth and everything. And Bobby was saying he ain't trying to be no coach. And kudos to Bobby Wagner that bought the Storm. He's part of ownership with the Storm. Go ladies.
Yeah, I love it. I
told Bobby, I said, way to invest in the lady hoops and everything. Yeah. But again, Von Miller is going to add so much to helping the younger players in their development.
Yeah, I would love to see him. Starting on passing downs, I would love to make sure, and to be honest with you, I don't think he'd be that bad in rundowns like that either. But I wouldn't want him out there all the time. But I would definitely want him featured and be quote unquote the starter at defensive end over anybody else. And no knock on it. And that's something you did say too, and I totally agree with you. Just because they got Von Miller relatively cheap, to be honest with you, the incentives kind of make it. The incentives can kind of make it to a 10 to 10 mil, which is a good deal, a decent deal. And if Von had a good, and I was telling folks that if Von hits his incentives, that means you're still getting him on a bargain. And that means he outplayed his contract, and that's still cheap money for a good edge rusher. But anyway, I feel like Washington, if they wanted to, they can still sign another edge rusher in the market. Like
I think
this doesn't
they
stop
may be
that.
looking for that because it doesn't hurt. This is a long season. What Von Miller said, and this is the reason why I love where this team is headed because they're the talk of the NFL right now. They're nationally talked about right now. Look at all those national games they have. And Von Miller said, look, you just don't leave Buffalo and Josh Allen. But it has to be something sweet. And you're coming here because you got a solid quarterback, young quarterback in Jayden Daniels. So he said that. He said, look, I just don't leave Josh Allen to come anywhere.
That's a good point.
And to me, it says something about where he believes this organization is going. Even talking to a lot of the other players that have come here through free agency this year, all I'm hearing from them is we love the direction this team is going in, and we love Dan Quinn as a coach and what he's building here, along with their position coaches. So that says a lot about this organization and this coaching staff in turning the pages from a train wreck to a team that's finally. I was walking around practice today. I said, finally. I said that they're heading in the right direction. I said, and you know, I'm not looking at putting a number on how many games they may win again,
of course.
but I'm always looking at how is this team moving forward, and to me, they're on the right track, going in the right direction. You could be on the track and headed in the wrong direction, but this team is headed in the right direction.
Just on my phone, Big Doug and George Carmi say hi. They want me to say hi to you, Donna.
What's up, fellas?
All right. So Donna, you know, you mentioned Jayden. I think, you know, this is Jayden's second training camp. How is his confidence? How is his confidence compared to when he first came in as a rookie? How up is his confidence? Knowing that, you know, he's seen the league now. He's now put on this level. And he played well, got this team to the NFC Championship game. What is his aura going into this training camp?
Yeah, I think it was not. I mean, when I go back to last year, each game that he played in, I saw elevation in his game. I saw that he was grasping even more stuff as the season went. And Howie Long, we got a chance on the show to talk to him last year, and he said, man, y'all got a special guy in Jayden Daniels. You know, I don't look for him to have any second year setbacks or anything like that because of just his work ethics. So, I mean, Jayden to me got more confident as he went down the stretch of the season because he didn't, I mean, every game he learned something and came back and adjusted to that. I saw quick adjustments throughout the course of last year into the playoffs. And so he's picked it back up. I expect him to be even better in the second year. You know, Coach Quinn again talks about the second year players. Jayden is on just another page and everything, another elevation. And just because of him going over and talking to those players after he threw the interceptions to find out what did they see. And I think the confidence is there. And I think Jayden kind of like looked to say, hey, you know what? If I got to run, my body took a pounding, and that's just part of the game. But how can I take care of my body even more? That means that he got in the weight room. And, and you know, from college to the pros, you're going to get bigger once you get to the pros just because of everything that they have here with the trainers and so forth. So that's one element where Jayden has gotten better because he's gotten bigger. He's stronger. His arm was already strong. And now he can take on the hits a little bit more. Not that he has to run as much as he did last year. But I think that you could just tell that he's progressing on to the next level. I mean, last year was last year. This year is people, he knows that teams are going to be saying, man, he does this, that. They got the same film on him. But guess what? You got to, in order to stop me, you've got to figure out what I'm doing, and you got to be able to stop me. As they say, I can run the counter tray 1,000 times, and you know that it's coming. But if you can't stop it, it does not matter. And I think that's what I look at with Jayden, is that Jayden is going to be even better when you have a better offensive line that can protect them, because he does not have to take off and run. And I think that that's the important thing that the Commanders, because I can't talk about Jayden without talking about some of the pieces that surround him, because he made a lot of people better last year in the receiver core that would not have caught those balls if he hadn't been the quarterback. But the offensive line, you know, if the offensive line is better, and that's the reason why I think the Commanders last year drafted Brandon Coleman, and this year they Connolly, they drafted him. So back-to-back years, they know that we have to build that offensive line. Two players that can play interchanging positions, again, that I talked about on the defensive side. When you have players that can be moved around, if you have injuries and all that. And then Coach Quinn talked about, the offensive line a little bit about Cosme and where he is in coming back.
That's crazy.
I was surprised for him to say that.
That's crazy.
It's a possibility that he could be on back with them on the front end of the schedule versus the back end. It just depends on how he coming along, because he was out there. He's out there every day. In practice. So when you're looking at him, I was like, wow, that could be a possibility. And
he said week one though, Donna?
I don't think week one, but I didn't even have him being in the first 6 or 8 games.
I was gonna redshirt him. That's where I was at with Cosme.
Well, guess what? You may not be talking red shirt him because
I know.
The thing about technology, and this is a reason, the thing that the Commanders have done to make it better for the players is that they got they revamped everything, Wally. I'm talking about Chambers and all of those things, the weight room, all the technology that helps you to heal quicker. They've got it there now, and I can't wait to see it all, because I'm like, the little glimpse don't do it justice if you see it and everything. So when you look at, like I say, Wiley and Allegretti and Chris Paul has slimmed down some, and this is a guy that each year keep coming back. People may not call out his name, but they still like him. And I only talk about Connolly and Brandon Coleman, because Brandon Coleman is in the second year too. And I'm watching that second year players. I got my eye on all of them. How will he progress in his second year, being that he's at his true position more so than he was last year? So they've got a little bit more depth. They had interchanging centers this week. That if one guy go down, this guy's coming in. So I like what the offensive line is starting to look like. I still would I'm always looking for another guy, because injuries coming about, and until Cosme gets back, and whether he gets back on the front end or middle end and all that, I just think that you just have a little more depth. But I do like what I'm seeing as far as a little more finesse up there on the offensive line that's going to help the running game. It's going to also help protect Jayden Daniels. And that's the key thing that they're looking at. How can we protect our quarterback? But I think the running back room and the wide receiver room, it is competition. Those are the 3 areas I think that's main competition is the running back room, because they got a whole bunch of running back and talented at that. And then the wide receiver group, I'm not even going to mention Terry because he's not there yet. So why mention him when he's not there? I'm only concentrating on players that's there on the field. I want to get into what's happening and all that.
No, I'm not going to ask you about what happened. I'm going to ask you about Terry.
I'm looking at, hey, who's on the field right now?
Yeah. There, Mike has a question for you. He wants me to ask this. I'm going to ask it, Mike. See, I will listen. He says, Ms. Donna, do you think Quinn will play the vets and first team during preseason this year, because they was a little slow to start last season, first couple of games?
Yeah, I think to remember that preseason is short now. What is it? Just 3 games now?
Just 3 games, yeah.
And so therefore, in order to jumpstart, and I think that when you look at across the league and everything, it's not just the Commanders that start off slow, it's everybody.
Yeah, that's true.
Because training camp, you put it in your plays, you put it in all that stuff. And so you tend to start off a little slower at the start of the season too. And you're not going to play the veterans probably in that last preseason game. So that's the reason why these inter-squad scrimmages are so key for the Commanders. They had 1 last year. They got 2 this year. I think that you'll see the starters, maybe the first game, the second game, part of the second game. but he knows what he has, and he preaches competition. And let me tell you, it's smoking at their competition. So I think that I'm not looking so much worried about the Commanders, the slowness, because I think that's across the NFL. You don't see good football until probably the third game of the season, because now that you have cut, preseason down, you're trying to get in a whole bunch of things and see a whole bunch of players by that time. But I do expect them to play, probably a half of the first game and maybe a half of the second game, and probably not at all the third. But remember, in New England, they have the inter squad practice plus that preseason game.
So that's like an extra one. So it adds on.
Yeah, exactly.
Hakeem Walker says, "Is this the year B-Rob becomes a star?"
Hey, you know what? This is Brian's year that it's a make or I won't say make or break. I think that this is a key year for Brian. But I think in being fair to Brian Robinson last year, he was nicked up. Yeah, and then when you don't have a solid offensive line, then I agree. It goes hand in hand. But Brian is looking good out there. I mean, talking to Coach Lynn and everything about the running back room. When I got to talk to him, he likes what he has in the running back room. Demetrius Fulton is one guy that's on his that he talked a lot about. Really looking good. And I mean, and I got a chance to talk to him in OTAs. And the thing that makes him really good, Fulton, is that he can really catch the ball out the backfield. I mean, he's just a true running back, and he would add so much to this team. Been around also, and I look for him to me, I think he makes this team, and he plays a lot, because the key thing for this offense, Kingsbury offense, is for the running backs to catch the ball out the backfield, something that Brian Robinson has gotten better at. Yeah. And if Austin Eckler can stay healthy and everything, that's another thing that set back the running back room last year, is that you had Brian Robinson out for a long spell, Eckler out for a spell doing down the trenches of the season. And so Chris Rodriguez, when he got in, played well also. Yeah. So the running back room had 8 running backs in the OTAs. And as Eckler told me, the most that they had in a long time. But the running back room is a lot of competition there. I mean, I look for Brian Robinson to really still be right there as a starter. But I think they're going to interchange the people. And then McNichols, they bought him back because Coach Lynn said of all the players, he played solid all the way around, did what they asked him to do. So that's going to be a fun room to watch. I think that they're much better there. And again, the offensive line being better this year, I look for them to be able to open up holes and everything for that running game, where Jayden doesn't have to throw all the time. They have multiple weapons, and the wide receiver group is another area of competition, because look, I was going down my paper.
What about that boy the boy Brooks? They're talking about.
I didn't even mention Merritt.
Man, talk about Merritt. Talk about Bill. Yeah, talk about Bill.
No, Bill Merritt has played well too. Another guy that is that you can throw him into the mix also, because they like what they're seeing from him. I'm going to try to catch up with him next week to just see how it's going now that you're in training camp, you're in some pads sometimes, you're going up really against the defense. So you've got to be able to go from the classroom to the football field. And I can remember with Coach Lynn, I was standing on the sideline through OTAs, and I said, Coach Lynn, you was on them, man. I said, I was standing back there kind of laughing a little bit, because he said, yeah. He said, but you got to be tough on them, because I'm thinking like, man, Coach Lynn don't play. But he said that, when you're throwing that much at a new player, a rookie, it's almost like you're trying to grasp it all. And you know how your coach Wally said, okay, do it over again. It's like, didn't I tell you do that? That stuff. And that's why I was sitting back laughing. I said, oh, Coach Lynn ain't playing. He was drilling. But guess what? Meredith got it to be able to, take it from OTAs to now the real deal. I mean, not that wasn't, but that was the learning part. But it was like they was going through those little drills and whatever. He said, no, go back. And then just the cutting and all that. I mean, to have Coach Lynn as a running back coach that did it before and all that, man, they are getting a jewel right there, to be able to really understand. You can have different coaches there, but this is a guy that really did it and knows how to bring out the most in his running back. Brian Robinson was better under Coach Lynn. Eckler, they already had that relationship. It's going to be better under Coach Lynn. And even Rodriguez, when he did get in, was better because at the beginning of training camp last year, Chris Rodriguez, I said, he ain't making this team. I said, but they kept bringing him back. And when he did get in, Chris played ball. And that's
He balled out.
He balled out. I mean, I was like, whoa. And Coach Lynn had talked about earlier on about Chris Rodriguez last year, but it just didn't materialize on the field early on. But when he got his chances, when they had those injuries, he came in and was impactful every time he got in. So that's another guy. So the running back room, you want that kind of problem because it's got some good competition.
I'm with you. Let's see. We have a comment from Eric. What's going on? Eric says, I asked about wide receiver competition, not signing Terry McLaurin in camp and got shamed. Could be strategy to get other reps, to get other reps. For the wide receiver units to get more reps, like the other guys, non-Terry.
What? Because Terry is not in camp right now?
I guess so. I think so. Yeah.
I mean, he's not there. So this is the opportunity for those guys that may have not been able to get those reps because he was going to be in there. This is the time for them to shine. Jayden Lane.
How is Lane looking, Donna?
I think he's going to be good because this is a guy that's fast, another one that can play multiple positions and everything. And I can't say too much about the wide receivers because I didn't spend enough time over there.
Okay, gotcha.
But Jakari Brooks has.
Everyone's talking about him.
He's looked. Although he had some drops today, but
all right. See,
that should have been caught.
I'm glad. No one talks about that, Donna. That's what I'm saying. I'm glad. Thank you, Donna. Thank you.
Yeah, he had some drops today, but I got to give him his props too that he had 2 touchdowns in the first day, and then he had another touchdown the second day. So, I mean, this is a guy that has caught some eyes and everything, and even if he doesn't make the starting roster, he may be able to be on the practice squad. I agree. So I think this is a guy that can help, but when you get in big times like today, when they had the 7-on-7s, when they're really watching you in those critical situations, that's when you got to catch the ball.
The facts.
And so I felt that he had some drops that he should have been able to pull in. And I think that if you throw that ball to Terry, he's going to pull that ball in. Yeah. But to like I said, to his defense, he had a solid first and second day with those 3 touchdowns. So he's looking really good. I'm going to kind of track him down next week, spend a little more time on the offensive side of the ball. And then Deebo Samuels is Deebo Samuels. You can just tell the speed there. You can tell the power there.
Yeah. I'm about to apologize to Deebo because I was one of the people who saw one of the clips. I was like, he looked a little hefty. So Deebo.
Remember he came in and he hadn't done nothing. And I'm telling you, I saw him working out from OTAs to now, and he was putting in the work. And you can see it also that the work he put in during that stretch after OTAs and everything. So I mean, he's one guy that I'm not going to worry about. But the wide receiving group, Noah Brown, you could just tell he was itching to want to get back.
But he's not doing anything, right?
He's not in because I don't know what the injury was to his leg, but it wasn't to the point where he had to be out and he couldn't be on the field. But you just have seen him in a lot of the drills and everything. So he is so key for this offense, for him just to get well and all that. So I like that. But, when you look at some of the other wide receivers, like I said, Lane, they're expecting a lot from him. And then I look across the board at some of the other guys, a whole new regime there. And it's a lot of competition there. But like I said, I can't speak a lot on the wide receivers this time around because I didn't spend enough time over there. But they will be on my list come next week, Wally.
I know they will. So, Donna, what about I should have talked about this. I know you pay attention to the trenches. The rookie Connolly, like, how does he look out there?
Let me tell you, he's going to be I think a good addition to this team because even in OTAs, I mean, even Larry Tunsil was talking about a Josh Connolly, and he said this guy has the tools. He has it, and for Larry Tunsil to be saying that, and he even looked good. So you got and like I said, you got Larry Tunsil. That you added this year. You got a Brandon Coleman in his second year. You got Josh Connolly that's coming on that's not looking like a rookie. And when I was talking to, the Lions coach, when we got a chance to talk to the position coach, Bobby, he said that the thing about Connolly is that he may do something wrong, but you can believe that he won't do the same thing the next play. And that's what you want to hear. And that's, and are they grasping a hold of things and everything where, the next time around, you're not going to see them making the same mistakes over. This is just a gifted guy. I think that I like what I'm seeing in him so far. And like I said, I'm be on that side of the ball next week, but the little bit that I did see of the offensive line, they've got a good mixture there. And today when I saw them go up against the defense, it was like, I think the defense won the battle today.
Yeah, they always win early though. The defense always won the
battle. But let me just tell you, that offensive line got some weapons there too. I think that's going to make them much better. So I kind of like those two guys. The three that I mentioned really has played well. Like I said, Allegrady and the rest of the guys, Wiley and some of those guys, Trent Scott and some of those guys, the moving parts. And I didn't mention all the names, but you all know the offensive line. But I was more talking about the three new additions to the offensive line and really paying attention to how they're gelling, because Coach Quinn talked a little bit about, really looking at the newer guys that they bought in and seeing how they gel with the players and so forth. And he was happy about what he's seen because, when you come to a new team, you're still trying to feel your way out. It's probably easier for guys to come to a new team than females to come and they got to get, past all of the other things. But I think because of the brotherhood that they built here, it was players that they bought here that was able to really, blend in and not create havoc and whatever. It's not about any one player. As Frankie Louvu said, that it was no prima donnas on this team last year. And that's the reason why you saw this team excel as much as they did last year, that, games that they may have lost is because they pulled together as a team. And it wasn't like, hey, man, Wally, why you didn't pick up that block? Or like that. It's almost like we're in this together. So again, paying attention a lot to the defense this week, and was pretty impressed with what I saw. And like I said, at this stage of 1 week, now that could change next week, according on what I see. And then, like I said, on Sunday, I don't know how much they're going to show because it's fan appreciation day. The fans will be out there, and I'm sure we'll see a little bit more of 7-on-7s and all that. But Wally, I want to know when you're coming out there to join us.
I need to say.
I mean, that's what I want to know. Where you can put some eyes on this. I just want to know that you're trying to stay in the cool air conditioning instead of coming out there in the trenches of the heat with the rest of us.
Donna, I think in a couple of weeks.
Hey, fans, y'all see how he stumbled over that?
I think in a couple
he tried
weeks,
to dance around that.
I think in a couple of weeks, I will be over there to assess.
I'm tracking you down, Wally.
I'm going to assess what's happening. I'll be there in a couple of weeks.
And I'm going to stand right beside y'all. Got to know
my real life. My real life occupation. Like I got to make sure it's I can do it.
Hey, I know that's the case. But let me just tell y'all, when he does come out here, I'm going to stand right there with him doing the whole practice to really he and I assess what's going on.
We have a good talk. We be having good talks though, Don. We be having good talks to assess what's going on. We do. We really do. So in terms of somebody had a question, I want to Hakeem said, I think you answered this already. He said, how does Brandon Coleman look? Did you get a chance to really follow what Brandon Coleman was doing at guard?
No, not really.
Yeah.
Like I said,
you were on defense though. You were just looking at defense for real,
right? I was looking at defense, and I saw offense just a little bit, but I can't really assess that, and I don't want to put it out there of making up stuff because I don't do that. Brandon Coleman, as far as I can see, just his interacting, he looked like he's a little more calmer and settled more so. Just his demeanor in general. He doesn't walk around like a rookie, but I mean, his personality is coming across even more so. But I'll spend, ask me that next week. I'll spend more time on the offensive side of the ball next week, and I'll be able to really assess because my eyes is going to be on that offensive line.
See, Donna, they talking about the time I interviewed Jayden Davis with his shirt off. Remember, like when he told me not to?
I mean, I don't know what Wally was doing. I mean, I had interviewed Jayden Davis, and I love Jayden Davis as a person. But look, I told Jamin, I said, hey, Jamin, can you put on your shirt? Wally acting like he a rookie. And he don't know how to tell players to put on their shirt. What was you afraid that Jayden Davis was going to tackle you?
No. It's just that I was trying to get one. It's too hot. It was too hot to wait.
Hey, I told him just keep on your wet shirt for a minute, and then you can take it off.
No, it's all for me. I was sweating like crazy. It was too hot.
Hey, but you had your shirt on, so he was really chicken. He thought Jamin was going to tackle him. He wasn't about to say, hey, Jamin, can you put on your shirt?
I was like, I don't know, man. My old boy was in a bad mood. You know, folks were getting on that dude. So, oh, no. But, yeah, they're getting on me for that. Look, man, I only have just, look, I hope the best for Jamin. Put it that way. I hope the best for Jamin, man.
Because Jamin was always great. Asked him for an interview. He was always great. And I just think that, they tried to work him in here before they let him go as a pass rusher. But it just got to be where this organization coaching staff was trying to go with the team and everything. Yeah. No slight on Jayden Davis because he was able to connect with other teams and everything. Yeah, and this just part of the process and all that. So always look how many players interchange with organizations, teams. Look at that. We got Von Miller here. We got Bobby Wagner. Who would have thought that?
I wouldn't have thought that 5 years ago. I mean, like 5, 6, 7 years ago. I would not have thought these people.
Austin Eckler or Zach Ertz. Yeah. And I didn't even mention the tight ends because I did watch the tight ends.
Okay, so I want to ask you about because I want to play on what you did. Like I saw you spoke to Ben Sinnott, so I do want to kind of play on that. Like so, and I heard Candy. We had Candy on for All Burger and Go Everything yet last night, and she talked about how he looks improved, but even though he was hurt, right? He was hurt most of it. All right. So, but coming in, he looks more confident. He looks better. I want to get your thought process, your vantage point. Like, how does he look? How does he look?
Yeah, I think that he's not thinking so much now. I think that last year what hurt him, and we talked about this, me and Ben Sinnott, and I said, and I told him this while I said, you were thinking too much. He said, yeah, I was.
Okay.
So I think that because that he understands more of the game playbook, because like he said, he's more comfortable with the playbook. Okay. So you could see that. I think what I saw the most from him is that he's reacting now and not thinking so much.
Mm-hmm.
That the game is really coming to him easier now because he understands the playbook. And Coach Rye, spending time with him, like Ben said, after practice, pointing out certain things. Like he said, a little slow getting off the line and getting off of his blocks and everything is something that he knew he needed to improve upon. And that's something that he's still working with, but you can see that it's starting to come. I think that now he's putting everything together. And once you do that and you understand where you're not thinking, you like out there and you know, Wally, you're on the court and you're thinking about it instead of just reacting, and you're done. I mean, the players will be in your grill before you can even get your thoughts out. So I think that that's where I've seen the improvement with Ben Sinnott. And, he was nicked up last year a little bit, but even, he didn't get in because I think that they saw that this guy's not getting it quite yet, and we love his talent. I think that they know that this guy is really talented, and I expect him this year to be much better because he's grasped the game of the playbook, is able to go from the classroom and really, go out there and not be thinking so much. And like John Bates is going to be John Bates because this is your best blocking tight end there. And that's the reason why they're utilizing him with that, with the run, they're able to bring him up. And then, you saw John a little bit catching the ball out the backfield, and Zach Ertz, Zach Ertz, Wally, in between the plays and whatever. I mean, when he was running sprints and whatever, doing OTAs, when he didn't have to rookie mini camp, he didn't have to be out there. He was out there. He was in the weight room. And then I'm thinking, we were talking about today. We said, look at Zach up and down the sideline, doing in the hot of the day, going up and down the field. So you could just tell, like he said, a new energy because of just the people that are around you that want to win. And I think that it's just rejuvenated him as a player, and he just got skill set still. I mean, when I watched him in some of the drills and everything, I said, you know what, you got money there. And then Coach Turner, I didn't mention him because I think he has not stepped up in the role that they projected him to step up in. I mean, the first year that he was drafted under the old regime, and they had high hopes of him being that, big time receiver, and he just hasn't turned the page yet. Has the opportunity been there? I think somewhat, but I'm curious to see what he looks like also. So to me, that's your tight end room.
Okay.
But let's see how everything, kind of like we know that Zach is going to be there. John Bates is going to be in there, but they really want to see more from Ben Sinnott and what he has to offer. And like I said, Coach Turner, to me, just hasn't turned that page completely yet.
I just feel like he's not their guy. And I like Coach. I think he has a talent. I just don't think he's just not their guy. And that's fine. It's like, I feel like he'll be better. I think he can have a run. He can have a resurgence on another team. I do think he has ability, because I felt like when he did get the opportunity, when Thomas went down, he stepped up, and I just feel like again, and that's what with the old regime, not this regime, with the old regime. So I feel like we get an opportunity on another team. I just feel like a real opportunity. I think that you'll see his skill set being used. But Paul has a question for you, Donna. He says, did Ben speak on his route running?
Ben, no, not really. As far as that, I think that what he did say is that, understanding the whole scope of things. So I didn't drill him really on his route running. He just talked to me he just talked to me about a couple of things that he knew he needed to improve on, and what Coach Rye had pointed out. And I think that goes hand in hand. What we're talking about is his route running and all of that. But I think that he'll be more comfortable this year knowing where he should be at and understanding that playbook a little bit more. So again, watching him in the preseason is going to be a key to see how much he has progressed once he gets in against another team. I didn't even go to special teams yet because
we don't go there. We don't get there, Donna. I got folks in this chat. They ready for
I was thinking about that, Wally, when we was talking because I said, hey, the return man, the on punt return, kickoff return, the punter has looked pretty good. I mean, he was 55 yards out, kicking them and everything. But I always said, you got to put the pressure in a game situation because the kicker last year, man, he had problems from 30 yards and 40 yards. 30 yards, that's money in the bank to me, the person who doesn't kick. But for a kicker, 30 yards should be something that you don't even have to think about.
Yeah. All right. I will ask you because I do want. Well, first of all, let me answer this question because you already said it. So Hakeem, Donna said, Quana with hers, they look real good. Donna said they look real good at safety. Also, so yeah, I do want to ask, like, so how does Matt Gay look in general? I heard he look kind of shaky.
Yeah, I mean, he to me, a few kind of squares in there today.
Today was hard.
Made me nervous, and like I said, that ain't even game situation, Wally. But to me, that's been an Achilles heel last year and this year. Not only for the Commanders, because I think it was a nightmare for a lot of teams.
We were good with Cyber before he got hurt. Like before he got hurt, we were winning.
Yeah. So Wally, I'm hoping to see, because it's funny, man. Candy was talking about that yesterday about the special teams and the kicking game, and getting that right, because I mean it's kind of like all over the place, throughout the course of the year. But I mean, looking at him, I mean, like I said, he nailed some from 55, and our problem last year was 30 to 40 yards. Yeah. So, I mean, the verdict is still out because I haven't seen enough of him, and I want to see him in real game situations under the pressure and everything, as far as what you got there. So I still have a question mark there.
All right. So, Allison Burley says, is Josh Johnson going to join the coaching staff if he doesn't make the 53-man roster? I don't think he's making.
Is who?
Josh Johnson, the quarterback. Is he on the team?
Yeah, he is on the team, but I don't think he's going to join the coaching staff. I don't see that happening because Josh is going to want to try to connect with another team.
Yeah.
And you think about it, he's been a journeyman. Because crazy. I don't think that he feels that he's finished plan. So I see him that if he doesn't make this team and everything, that he'll be on somebody's roster. And the great thing about the quarterbacks, that the quarterback room, which Howie Long talked about that, also that this is the first time in a long time that you can look across the NFL and you got some pretty good quarterbacks starting up in Buffalo with Josh Allen, who had a tremendous year last year, to up in Cincinnati, and then Kansas City, then even Philly, and all of those places. And I probably missed some of the quarterback, CJ Strom, and all of those, a whole bunch of them. I didn't even mention up in Chicago because he still has to prove himself to me.
Yeah, prove himself, man.
Because you ain't doing enough to convince me. But I'm talking about the guys more so, like up in Cincinnati, up in Buffalo, Kansas City, and all those guys. Whenever you had the chance in years to, and then I ain't missing Jayden because that's a gimme. But when in a long time have we talked about multiple great quarterbacks across the NFL? It's been like average for so many years, but last year and this year, you got solid quarterbacks across the league now, and we got one right here in Washington.
And it's a good thing for Jayden though, like the most of them are in the AFC. So it's like Jayden, like, to be honest with you, Jayden is like already, you can make the argument that he's already the best quarterback in the NFC. You can make that argument. You know what I mean?
Because it sure ain't Dak Prescott.
It ain't Dak. And it ain't like you can say
Jordan Russell Wilson up there in New York.
No, it's not. And you could say like the only to me, like a guy that people like Jordan Love is the guy that people like, but Jayden took the team to the NFC Championship game. So I put
it's
Jayden
sure ain't him either. Jayden is over top of him
too. You know what I mean? So you can make the argument that Jayden's already the best quarterback in the NFC. So and that's off 1 year. Like obviously you're gonna have to back it up right after 1 year.
Oh,
Yeah.
what they say, proof is in the pudding.
Exactly. So, but if we're going off of what we've seen last year, going into this season, that's all we can do. Jayden probably is the best quarterback in the NFC. So I know people want to say the quarterback who won the Super Bowl and Jalen Hurts. I know, I get it. Different situation, different team.
Jayden Hurts had a whole bunch of other people.
Yeah.
Saquon, Barkley, Carter, that defense, it was smoking defense on the, you know. I mean, everything was clicking for that Eagles team. And to me, they come in strong this year also.
That too. I agree with you there too. So I just feel like, to me, like, Jayden's the best quarterback in the NFC. So he has that going for him. Like, so knowing that he gets to have that aura, like it's something about having that aura, being the best quarterback in your division or in your conference. Tom Brady had that a lot in like his time in New England, in his whole conference, his division, where he was the boogeyman. So Jayden could be the boogeyman in the whole NFC, which is kind of dope. So I do want to get you, like, before we wrap the show up, I do want to ask you about, like, if you put all the 3 days of camp and whatever, and only the side you paid attention to. I don't need you to do whatever, but put your 3 days of camp so far. Who was your MVP of those 3 days? Your MVP, like, from what you saw. I don't care about anybody else.
I like that, Wally. I like that. Don't matter. My MVP. Woo, that's kind of hard. Gosh, I'm staying on the defensive side of the ball. I think I have to say Trey Amos.
Dang, he was that good. Okay, he was that good. Dang,
I just think that.
Wow. Okay,
his development overall, and I mean, like I said, I looked at the linebacker play and all of that, but I'm looking at players that even elevated their game. And because I think he's a rookie, and what I'm seeing from him early on as a rookie, and because I paid attention to the defensive line, maybe if I paid attention to the other side.
No, you shouldn't have, Donna. I'm gonna stop you right. Donna, I'm gonna stop you. You shouldn't have. You know why? They gave her 55 points. You shouldn't have paid attention to the offense.
Hey, but not only that, I could have called out Quan Martin and all of them too, because I think they had. But I have to say Trey Amos, because this is a guy that just got here, went through OTAs, and you could just really see his development. So I've got to give it to Trey Amos this week.
I love it, Trey Amos. You know, every time I hear you talk about him, I mean, you talk about folks talk about him when you talk about. I believe when you talk. So you already know that. I believe when you talk. So when you say it now, I feel like he's going to be a serious problem. Like, I don't care about, like, I think
the way I saw him play up on the line and everything, that he was physical with the receivers and anybody that can not play 5 yards away from the ball. I mean, the receivers, you got my vote right there. But I have to give it to him, because this is a guy that, like I say, he's a Mikey Sanders still that absorbed everything quickly and was able to be impactful and really caught the coach's eye. And I think that listening to Coach Quinn and what I saw, I would have to, in my 3 days, have to give it to Trey Amos.
Awesome. All right, so Donna, before we let you go, I normally, say this: plug your socials. Don't you don't make me plug your socials. I'll probably have to plug your socials.
Well,
wait a minute.
There you go.
All right, go ahead, go for it. You gonna do it?
No. I was getting ready to say the only one I probably really know is the Instagram DJ Hop 32. Did I get that right?
Yeah, that was right. That's perfect.
And then X is Donna.
It's right there. I got it for you right there on your.
There you go. I mean, I don't even have to say it.
You gotta say it. So I got you. I got you right there. So you good.
Yeah. So there you go. And I've been trying to post a lot of things to kind of like let people see. As far as the new bubble out there, that is fantastic. I can't wait to go in there and see, because it was so tiny before, but now it's like big and whatever, that if you kick a field goal or kick the ball up, it's not going to hit the top of it. And it's going to be more room on the sides where you don't feel like you're up on top. And the fields are just great. They've got 4 fields that's great fields, not like some of the stuff that they had in the previous years. So just the quality of what I'm seeing out there of the upgrades and everything has really been great. So I've been trying to give fans a look at some different areas that they may not necessarily get to see. And then basically look tidbits of what you may not hear or whatever from my interviews. And I'm trying to really interview players that don't get interviews a lot. I try to go to those players, second-year players, and all of those guys, because you know what you got in some of the veterans, and I'm going to get them during the course of the season. But I'm looking at some of those guys that's trying to make the team, some of the younger guys and everything, so people can get to know them a little better. But I did enjoy talking to Jonathan Jones today. Wow. I talked to him about, and then I'll let you go about, hey, we meet up with your old team later on, and he just chuckled right there. And then, like I said, Eddie Goodman, I really enjoyed talking to him, and just the fact that he feels great about being back home and everything. So, I mean, the opportunity to play for a team that was your team growing up. And I was, laughing at him about that when I said, okay, who was your favorite player? And let me tell you, he has some top ones. LeVar Arrington, Sean Taylor was the first one, and Marcus Washington. So I said, man, you got all good ones right there. But Sean Taylor was the first one he called out, and then Marcus Washington, because he said,
I like that name.
He said that if he played, because remember Marcus was Washington, nobody mentions him, but he was solid. But he said that if he played those positions, he would have played them like they did. And then he thought about LeVar Arrington. He said, I got to throw him in there. So I said, man, you hit all great names right there, because it's a lot of great Washington Redskins, Washington Commanders. But when he mentioned those 3 names, those were impactful players. And we know the first one was really.
Yeah, I agree. I want to make sure folks are giving you flowers before we end this show. Mike said, always a great show, Wole. You always have great football minds on the show. Miss Donna, you are always the best in the business.
You know I appreciate that.
Eric said, thank you, Miss Hopkins. Donna,
everybody appreciate the love.
Everybody know you great. Don, I keep telling you great. And also in turn, like, can you plug your YouTube? You didn't do that though.
Yeah, this is the thing about it is we've been doing some off-season shows. Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus. We had a great interview with Howie Long last week, maybe a couple of weeks ago, but it's going to run the whole month. So, if you don't get Mid-Atlantic Sportsnet, you can go to our YouTube channel. That all the shows are there. And then for all the latest things of training camp and everything, go to our podcast that's hand in hand with the show In the Minute. So if you go there, make sure that you like, you share, and all of those good things, because we want you to stay connected to all the latest and greatest things that we have to say about this Washington Commanders team. So please go to In the Minute and, connect with us there.
Santiago,
say share, and then share some more.
Share, and share some more. That's what you gotta do. Santiago, appreciate you always. Great gems with Donna Hopkins. Come on, Donna's one of them. Paul, great interviews, Donna. Donna has great interviews, man. And you know what I like, and I can see it. I said I was gonna end the show, but I do want to make sure I give Donna her flowers all the time. You know what I like about Donna's interviews with players in general, but definitely we're going, since we're talking about the Commanders, Redskins Commanders players, is that she always makes them feel, you can tell they're so comfortable around you. Right, you make them feel welcome to a point where they can kind of shoot the breeze, and they're not just, it's not just an interview, which is something they're just having a real conversation with somebody. It seems real personable all the time.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, that's what I try to pull out, as far as not just the football end of them, but people to get to know them as players, and me just to get to know them as players. So I appreciate you saying that. That's what my goal is, to make them feel easy. And I try to just get to know them where they're comfortable with being themselves around me. So appreciate that.
Yeah, that definitely comes across. Definitely. Anytime I see it, it comes across. I'm like, oh, they like Donna. There's no faking it. It's not a chore. A lot of times for a lot of people, it's a chore. It's not a chore when they talk.
I like to pick with the players too. I joke with them too.
I can tell.
Maybe my personality is coming out more.
Maybe I don't know, but it is definitely not also. It's not a. Oh, I gotta do this. Okay, I'll do it. It's
I think you gotta love what you do, and that's the reason why I think that it will come out that way for anybody. Is that if you love what you do and you're a genuine person, the players can read that.
That's so true. Yeah,
and then the trust factor is all in there too. Because so many people are coming at them, and I'm not trying to throw you under the bus and whatever. I'm just trying to, shine a light on you.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I've always, when I used to cover off, that was my thing. I'm like, I'm not throwing you under the bus. I'm just going to talk to me. We're just going to have a good conversation. We're just going to shoot the breeze. But yeah, appreciate, and Mike said the coaches love her too. Of course they do. It's Donna. Everybody loves Donna. Anyway, man, appreciate y'all.
I appreciate the coaches. This is the most.
You said that though. You said that though. You told me this is the best.
Yeah, this is the best that I've had with coaches. I mean, Coach Gibbs was there, but he wasn't a person that was going to come up and chat with you like Coach Quinn.
Okay.
I mean, he has his own personality. He was a good person and all that, but he's not a chitty chat, or he's not going to talk to you a lot. Coach Quinn just has that personality that draws people in, and that he wants to get to know you as a person and everything. And then just, the other coaches, I knew a couple of them when they played. But getting to know the coaches and whatever, it's just about talking to them and whatever, just shooting the breeze, not always about football. So I really have enjoyed last year, getting to know the coaches, talking to them. And like I told Wally before, this is the most fun I've had with the coaching staff, from all position coaches to the head coaches and everything. They make it fun.
Yeah, you did tell me this, and that's a cool thing. I know I'm gonna say this when I see you, because I do want to know about one of my favorite coaches. I do, Daryl Tapp. I want to know about Daryl Tapp.
That's one of the ones I'm talking about, Daryl Tapp.
I love Daryl Tapp,
and I played he played when I covered this team.
Yeah, I love Daryl Tapp.
And he's just it's funny because the players today, I know Eddie Goodman, I was asking about his position coach, Daryl Tapp. He said, man, he got some energy. And he said, he kind of like turns it off and on, and then he'll joke with you and whatever. And he said he loves him as a coach. Yeah. Daryl has just got a great personality in general. What you see is what it is. And, it's how you could say people are phony, not him. Not even the coach, none of the coaching staff, but Daryl. Like I said, I've known him, and when I talk to him and whatever, it's like two friends just meeting up again. But I love his energy. I got to talk to him a little bit towards the end of the season about what he saw, but loves him.
I love Daryl Tapp too. I think he is destined to be a head coach somewhere in a couple of years. Hopefully not too soon. I love him on the staff, but for him as an individual, I think he's gonna be a head coach somewhere in the close this soon, very very soon, very very soon.
He gets my vote.
He definitely gets mine. All right, so what did Mike say? I'm trying to give all y'all love real quick before I end the show. It says Coach Tapp is always opening it up to her with a smile. Everybody love her, man.
That's because he knows me.
Because he knows her. Because again, you got to know Donna, man. Eric, look, you just got to know Donna. Donna's one of those people that is just an awesome person. You just got to know Donna. Anyway, folks who were tuning in, appreciate y'all for pulling up. Always appreciate Donna for pulling up. And Donna, you'll see me at camp. I just don't know when you'll see me at camp.
Hey, I'm holding. Hey, y'all heard that, right? I'm holding his feet to the water.
Oh, you're gonna see me at camp. If it ain't next week, it'll be the week after. But you'll see.
Well, I'm getting ready to go watch Ben Shelton and Francis Tiafoe because they're going up against. Yeah, they're going up against each other, and I love football. I love tennis too, and those are two of my favorite players to watch and everything. So I'm kind of like, oh man, I like both of them.
I know that's right.
But so folks, I can't lose either way.
You can't lose, Donna. You're winning already. You're always winning, though, Donna. You're always winning. You know what I mean? Like Eric, I agree. It's hard not to love that. It's impossible. It's not hard. It's impossible. It's impossible not to love Donna. Anyway, you've been listening to the Urban Sports Scene.
I appreciate you all.
She does. Say you. All right, you got it. She appreciates you all. You hear that? And also, folks, you know what? You reminded me, Donna. Before y'all like end the stream and not make sure y'all like this because I give my algorithm. So like this video with me and Donna. Like it.
Because if y'all don't, Wally won't bring me back.
Is that you know what? Yes, you're right. That's a lie though. But yes, you're right.
Anyway. Hey, I feel like it's a treat today because I get Wally by myself.
I appreciate. Hey, you know what? Hey, Fridays I'm by myself. So Donna, we're here.
There you go.
Friday. Anyway, you've been listening to the Urban Sports Scene for ages. You dig? Deuces. We are out. Peace.
Swag.